We're back with Professor Avram Ehrlich on theoeconomics, money, currency exchange. These subjects we want to talk about.
Economics is the method of achieving targets using resources. It is a huge domain and very complex to negotiate. When significance changes, when prejudice for one thing ceases because it is no longer important, or because we've become enlightened enough to no longer consider it necessary, prejudice, there needs to be a mechanism for us to convert meaning. It seems an extraordinarily primitive method, but you see it in all of engineering, the rejoining, the conversion, the bridging. You see it in toolery, where you need different pipes, and one pipe to scaffold over another one and to interact with another one, with different sizes and different screws and inverted screws and mechanisms of transition. And you see that in legal literature there was also necessity of transition. One of the most interesting of those was an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. The idea of proportionality for proportionality, that one thing can be another thing in a different form. And the major form that is being discussed here is the form of currency. Money is an incredible idea. It's an intellectual trigger. It contains some of the mythology and the tension and the energy, so to speak, which is encaptured in the need for survival, and is translated in the form of a currency that with it and with its agency one can achieve, can transfer all the necessities of survival onto it and leverage it in a completely different medium. Just a completely different medium. The interface of value cannot be undervalued. The ability to exchange value and skill and ability into another form seems to be a critical mechanism. And currency, if it did not exist, would have had to be invented as such a mechanism. To borrow, to create wealth through the promise or through the addition of a future in which there will be accommodations or changes or additions to more wealth, is an incredible technique which changes reality with a form of gymnastics, intellectual gymnastics, and exchange of coordinates in different time zones, almost in different dimensions, in a reflection or in a quid pro quo with another energy source or a bank of data. And it is all done in a virtual, symbolic structure. It is ingenious. And with all that, it will have to change again. And it will have to interface again, because value today is not the value of yesterday. And the value of tomorrow, very quickly, with the instruments that we have, is going to be different. The value for today is to achieve our group goals, the manifestation of our imagination. And therefore, the value is what allows us to achieve that most efficiently. And in order to create a roadmap to those efficient achieved targets, one will need to reconstruct the values that are the way and the direction and the navigational path towards that. And that is a quest for future sessions.